Okay, so if you haven't been in the loop, KARINA from aespa is under fire for a social media post where she's wearing red, the number 2, and the caption has a red rose on it. Apparently, these are all things associated with the Conservative Party in Korea, and people believe this is a dog whistle for KARINA to let people know who she's voting for. It's almost unheard of for idols to be political or to endorse a political party. Some people are also side-eyeing her because it seems like this party is anti-Chinese, and of course aespa member Ningning is Chinese. I wanted to see if she knew what she was doing, how she's feeling about it now, and what the other members of aespa are thinking. With that being said, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go!
Okay, KARINA. That's like a lack of balance. Also, like, I heard boundaries. Oh, that's weird, because temperance is also lack of balance, but it's also like emotional exchange. Sometimes it's also low-key like a contract or an agreement. Strength, that's feeling empowered. Oh, what's going on? All these cards are so similar to one another. Okay. It's weird because I feel like energy is not that clear. And the first question that I asked was, did she know about it? And I get literally like, these three to me indicate a contract in some way, but it's not so much, maybe I shouldn't say contract, it's like an agreement, like someone told you to do something and you broke that. But to me, it honestly kind of seems like SM, but I feel like this is a policy most K-pop companies have, where it's like idols are not supposed to be political. You rarely ever see idols making like direct political statements. KARINA's social media post, I heard, is like, it's like obviously, even though she wasn't like, hey guys, let's go vote conservative, it was like very obvious what she was doing to people in Korea or just like in the know. And so to me this seems almost like SM is really mad at her, but like it's not even like that. It feels like brands that work with SM and specifically work with aespa and KARINA are upset. The brands are like, you're messing with us, like you endorse, like if KARINA endorses some sort of soft drink, that company's mad and SM is mad because it's like, well, like we're not gonna get the money now, like, girl, what is this? It's weird though, because it's sort of like you had an expectation, you broke that expectation. It's odd because it doesn't even seem, there's not a lot of like, despite we got a lot of cups cards, there's not a lot of emotion here. I mean, KARINA's not strong in this reading yet, but she seems apathetic at best. That might change, I need to pull more cards. But like off the bat, like, because it's spooky, all of these cards mean similar things. It's like a lack of exchanging, a lack of balance, a lack of give and take. It seems like she was instructed not to do this and she did it anyway. But it wasn't like, hey, like if she was like, hey, I have this post, can I post this? It wasn't like that. It was sort of like, you obviously know not to do this and you did this. And this is like doing something underhandedly, which to me, in the reverse, it can be like going more into your truth. And that's, I think, double, like this is a 2-part card, because when this is upright, this is like doing something shady. In the reverse, it would be like coming clean about something. However, I still think this is doing something underhandedly in the sense that I think KARINA knew what she was doing, but she wanted to do it. Like I think she understood the backlash that she would receive, but she wanted to do that. She wanted to make that statement. So in a way, it's like she's living in her power. She's living in her strength. She's like, yeah, like this is what I wanted to do. But it's like there's a knowing of like, oh, I shouldn't have actually done that to be a quote-unquote like good K-pop idol, if that makes sense. So she knew she was like breaking a rule or a policy, and also just I think social etiquette for K-pop idols as a whole, but she wanted to do this. And I think she's a bit satisfied that she did this, if I'm honest. Listen, I have to take my opinions out of this to read accurately, so I'm not going to comment on if that is a good or bad decision. The 8 of Pentacles is like working at something. I really I see her feeling satisfied. I know she's getting a lot of hate, but I also feel like KARINA is very used to getting a lot of hate generally as an idol. She's just, I mean, like, I think before the scandal, she was a really beloved idol, but just in general, I think aespa, especially in the early years, got a lot of hate, specifically Giselle though, let's be real. Anyway, I feel like KARINA is very used to having like people talking about her at the very least. So for her, this isn't like, oh no, like everyone's mad at me, like this is a big scandal, because she's almost like used to that. She's like, I see, like, literally in my mindset, I see her kind of smug, kind of like, yeah, I did that. Which I mean, like, I think she thinks of it as like, I'm expressing myself, this is something I truly believe in. Whether you agree with that or not, she seems satisfied. Judgment, that's a lack of awakening. Oh, the repercussions of this. I think fans are really mad. Public discourse is very, back and forth, I would say. But the real repercussions of this have not happened yet, because I think that's going to be a lot more behind the scenes. I think some brands that worked with aespa are not pleased. Like, really, I think some brand might like pull out of endorsing aespa or whatever. I keep thinking of like a soft drink for some reason, but that, like, because I see her like drinking like some sort of like soda or something like that. But that could just be an example of like a brand, but it could be actually like a brand that they endorse. I'm not really sure. But there's a brand that seems upset. They're like, we're not supposed to be political, girly Bob, and like, we're endorsing you, you're on all of our stuff, like, what's going on? The repercussions of this have not hit her entirely. I also see this affecting all of aespa, unfortunately. In a negative way, not just KARINA. KARINA, I think, is strongly like the face of aespa, so that would make sense. Page of Pentacles, yeah, again, because this is like money. And I see this like withdrawing. I'm taking away money. no more. Justice. Oh. Okay, like, I'm obviously hyper-American. I don't know a lot about Korean culture or Korean politics. That's my bad. That's my ignorance. In America, the Conservative Party, I'm not a fan of, even a little bit, actually. I'm pretty anti. And so if the Conservative Party is similar to the Conservative Party in Korea, this is sort of like justice. Like, justice is coming for you. But it's weird, though. I'm trying to not be biased in this reading, because this reads as almost like, justice is coming for Karina, but sort of like she is the aggressor in this situation. Not like justice is coming because, she's allowed to express her political opinion as like as a private citizen, you know what I mean? This is sort of like justice is coming for you in the sense that like you did something wrong, which is interesting. And the thing is, I think you're going to ascribe your rules of what right or wrong are, but this is sort of like those, it's hard to explain, because it's like those rules are not like if you punch someone in the face who was just standing there chilling and like nothing was happening, you're obviously in the wrong and there's like a clear right or wrong. Here it's like the rules are not as like clean cut as what right or wrong is. I feel like the industry would think that what Karina did was wrong. I think people who are on an opposite political party think what Karina did was wrong, or like her opinions are wrong. She broke social etiquette, I guess, with being a K-pop idol as well. So in some way, justice is coming for her. In a bad way. I don't know what that means, but it seems quiet. It seems like it's going to be behind the scenes. Like they're going to try to, I think Karina is an idol that has been pushed pretty heavily by SM. She's usually like a top idol. Like, I don't know if you guys go on K-popping a lot. I do a lot to make thumbnails, and she's always like a featured album. Always. She's always there. And I'm like, okay, they go off. It seems like they're gonna like pull back Karina and they're gonna start to push someone else in aespa more. Not even like as to a degree it's a punishment, but it's more like we're not trying to put all of our eggs in one basket anymore. Like we need other girls in aespa to be like a front runner in case, one of them, like Karina, does something that is like politically charged. You might start to see Karina. Also, I think just some brands are like, I don't know if you're like a safe idol to pick anymore, especially because you think about how many idols there are out there, and it's like, well, I mean, like, I don't think this, but the energy's like you're kind of like a dime a dozen, which is true and not true. I think every idol has like uniqueness about them and like their own unique aura. Obviously, Karina is somebody that people really gravitate towards, but it's sort of like, well, I mean, like you blew a girly bob. Like we can find someone else like you. Like we'll give those opportunities to like Yujin from IVE, or I don't know, like Chaewon from Seraphim, or like Ningning from aespa or something like that. I don't agree with this, but that's the energy it's giving. Okay, I don't agree or disagree with this. That's just the energy. So this is like going into the past. But again, this card, oh my god, this is so weird. Because again, this is like exchanging, but it's in the reverse position, so it's like a lack of exchanging. I don't think I talked about these cards, did I? That's okay. Okay, so this is feeling... Karina genuinely feels kind of free. I don't think she enjoys the negative press that she's getting. I don't think she's excited about that, but she's like, she really believes what she did. Like, I think she is somebody who believes in the Conservative Party in Korea. I don't 100% know. The only thing I really know, and I read in a comment under a video talking about this, was that the Conservative Party in Korea is pretty anti-Chinese, which made me hella sad, because Ningning's Chinese, and I'm like, Karina, what is that? At any rate, I don't know a lot about what the Conservative Party stands for, but whatever it is, Karina, like, backs them. She really does believe in what they're about. She feels like she did a service by endorsing them. Yeah. But the thing is, I don't know if she's like how well versed she is in like politics, or if it's more like this is what I grew up in and this is what my parents told me to do, and like and like I don't know how politically literate she is, but whatever it is, like she feels good. Like I see her really satisfied. I don't want to disappoint you guys. A loss of control though. Oh, the loosening of control. Oh my god. Okay, so this is also sort of a rebellion for her. I see that so clearly. You know why? You remember? I think this happened this year, right? Or maybe late last year. But she's dating that guy, and then everyone found out about it, and then they like mysteriously broke up like a little bit later. And I think she was actually so like upset about that. And I think in general, K-pop idols are very controlled. I would say aespa so far has been pretty clean in their image, except for maybe a couple scandals, which is up. But regardless, aespa I think has been pretty in line. They work pretty hard, I would say. SM is kind of like a disaster of a company. I think they're a little bit unorganized. I feel like aespa notices that. But anyway, I feel like this was a point of rebellion. Karina was like, you know what? I'm going to cause drama because I'm hyper controlled. That's like what her energy is giving. She knew what she was doing. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm pretty anti most conservative things, but I do respect her in like wanting to, express herself. And at our very core, that's what we're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. For good or bad, we're supposed to be ourselves. Okay, so the world is a lack of completion, and that's what this means though. It's like loss of control. Like, no, I'm not going to be like a perfect girl anymore. That's her vibe. I really feel like it was like that like when people figured out that she was dating someone and then like it got complete. I think like didn't Dispatch like out them or something like that? Like I think she was really upset about that. Queen of Cups in the reverse position. That might be. I don't think that's Karina. I think this is Winter actually. I don't know why. Winter tends to be the Queen of Cups, but I feel like that might be Winter. Oh, Oh, 3 of, that's heartbreak. And then 7, the fruit of our labor not paying off. Oh, there's a member, because this doesn't feel like Karina. This could be Winter, but it seems like somebody around Karina at the very least is mad. Like upset, I would say. I think it's anger. It's also disappointment, because it's sort of like you're ruining our image. Which, I don't know if that's true or not. I guess time will tell. But I would say, and I think most people are more upset at Karina and kind of feel bad for the other aespa members for getting dragged into this. But it's sort of like, this is disappointment as well. That might be Ningning. I don't know. But Ningning tends to be a lot more sharper in her energy. But someone's very disappointed with her. It seems like a peer. It could be another K-pop idol that's not an aespa as well. But I think that's pretty clear. There's someone who is her peer that is really disappointed. Almost kind of like, it's almost kind of like if you had a friend and you didn't know that friend had like wildly different political opinions from you, and like what you fundamentally believed in was different, and you're like, oh, you think it's okay to like, I don't know, like murder chimpanzees or something. And it's like, yeah, like that's what I voted for. And you're like, we were friends. That's how it's, politics is very divisive. I completely understand. Okay, so 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, but there's something about money. It's going to be affected for sure. Something about money. It unfortunately does seem like it's going to affect all of aespa, not just Karina. The star in the reverse position. Oh, lots of star power as well. And the high priestess. This wasn't. It's hard. Because I'm, I want other people to feel free. The last thing I ever want to do, literally in this world, is like control somebody and like how they want to show up. The high priestess, though, was like, that was a bad move for you. That's not in alignment with like your spiritual path. You've been knocked off path, at least. And it's tough because I think K-pop is very controlling, and it's like you should be able to express yourself, but also it's sort of like this wasn't good for you. Because this is like sometimes feeling like almost like trapped, like a gilded cage, you're trapped. But this is a loss of star or vulnerability. And the high priestess, I think Karina actually did lose friends. I think she's going to be knocked down a little bit as an idol, because she was like she is a top idol, but I think she's going to diminish a little bit as I start to be like, oh, can we replace her with somebody? I also could see people starting to maybe dig into Karina's private life a little bit more to find more things to, put on blast. Sometimes I think when you slip up in media as like a celebrity, and especially as like a woman celebrity, people want to see you fall more because it's a bit funny. I could see Karina maybe becoming a target in the future for little things. Like if she was, if they were all like performing on stage with like a bunch of other groups and Karina didn't bow, and that's highlighted. It's sort of like, oh, like she's so mean. Like she might become like a Wanyang, where Wanyang does literally anything. People are like, she's evil. Karina, that might start happening to her more. I'm not sure. She did lose friends though in the industry, and maybe privately as well. But like people that like she's really jolly with, they're gonna be like, I don't know. Not even like, I think some of it will be like, oh, opposite in like political opinions, but some of it will be like, my company doesn't want me to be around you. You're a liability, girl. That was crazy. Oh boy. Yep, this is being left out in the cold. Almost like, girl, like, I'm sorry, like, we can't kiki together like we did at, like, award shows. Because it's sort of like, whether that's true or not, it's like, it would be similar to, like, if you're in America and, like, you hang out with someone who's wearing, like, a MAGA hat, and it's like, are you MAGA too? Like, why are you with this person? That's kind of what the vibe is giving. It's like, I can't be associated with you. Whether I agree with your opinions or not, people might assume things, and idols are typically apolitical. Like it's either like, and also sort of like my company won't let me, but it also I think will be some people's own volition. Knight of Cups, that's like a lack of trust almost. I don't trust you anymore. That's crazy. This has a massive ripple effect. I know like online discourse is really big, but behind the scenes, like this has a massive ripple effect. I think SM is going to try to do a lot of damage control with Karina. Again, I'm not really tapped into Korean politics, so I have no idea how significant this is. And also I think Korean culture differs from American culture, where in America, we kind of like, you have the ability to like freely express yourself, and people will have criticism of that, but it's sort of like, well, that's like what we're like built off of, you know what I mean? In Korea, I think there is more of a thing about like having more like of a homogenous society, so everyone's a bit similar to one another, and like breaking out and being different is not always seen as like a good thing. I really don't know, but there's something that I don't understand culturally where this is going to be a very big deal for her for a while, but it'll be very quiet, like truly like a ripple effect. Okay, I'm gonna ask about I kind of want more information on how she feels, and then I want to ask about aespa and how they feel. Okay. She does not give a fuck. I'm so sorry. It's not funny, but it low-key is. It's surprising. I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that she would do this. Okay. Queen of Pentacles, she's like, I'm standing on business. I do feel like this is partly like for her, she feels satisfied. This was partly a political statement, but it was also just kind of a statement in general about like, I don't want to be as controlled as I'm being. So I'm going to be defiant and I'm going to rebel. I do think she believes what she believes, but I think it's similar to in the United States where it's like, depending on where you are, but in a lot of places, it's like wearing a MAGA hat. People are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's similar to like, you can have those beliefs, but it's sort of like, I mean, that's a crazy thing to believe in. Respectfully, I'm gonna have to cut that probably. At any rate, so it's sort of like she does believe what she believes in, but she knows that it's inflammatory and she's doing it on purpose. The moon is a secret, and then this is anxiety. This is like release. This is a relief for her. I do like I kind of feel like she's had these opinions. I don't really. This is kind of surprising. I think if you knew Karina closely, you'd be like, she is kind of like a little bit of a conservative girl. And I think in an obvious way, not in a low-key way. Because some people, I think, they keep their political beliefs, like, private and quiet. Karina's not one of those people. If you actually start talking to her about, like, I don't know, current events, you'd start to see, like, oh, okay. I don't know how often people talk, you know, because some people, I think, really like that type of thing. And some people like to keep it more casual or more about, like, pop culture or light. So this was almost, in a way, a secret, but more just, like, a hidden part of her personality. People say that she is religious, so I guess it's not as surprising. But she does have pretty conservative beliefs. Naturally. Unhappiness in home, Wheel of Fortune, that's your luck changing. Oh, being bound up. She's in trouble. I see that. She's in trouble. Because this seems like behind the scenes, like unhappiness in home, unhappiness with aespa. The Wheel of Fortune is like your luck changing. And this is like, like anxiety. It's like being bound up by your thoughts. It's almost like, I really don't see her being that regretful. I think she will come to be more regretful. But again, it's not really because like she hurt people or she offended people or she's supporting something that maybe is going to hurt a lot of people. It's more as consequences start to like arise. And it seems like it'll arise very quietly. Just because politics is a really delicate thing, I think she's going to start to realize like, oh, okay, this is actually like a really significant thing. I'm losing opportunities. People maybe don't want to be seen with me publicly as much. And I think Karina... I think she had a lot of privilege maybe in SM and as an idol, being a very top idol and just kind of naturally beloved. Although I do see SM pushing her very hard to kind of be an it girl. She's kind of lost that privilege a little bit. So she's more like, you know how there's like S-tier idols where it's sort of like they just kind of are untouchable and like really beloved no matter what? She's going to drop a little bit and now she's going to be a really prominent idol and people are going to be very mixed on her. She's lost like the public grace or the halo effect that she had. And so I could see people starting to have more like animosity towards her. So you might see more like negative comments. You might see more hate campaigns. You might see more people trying to bolster the other members. You might see like, you know, edited videos to make her look bad in a way that she has not experienced before. It's hard. I don't see Karina as dumb. I see her sheltered. That's it. I see her incredibly sheltered. And I think she's a little frustrated by that. Her spirit and her spirit, what her spirit kind of is. But I see her like sheltered more than anything. Like she's really, and again, she's been in the idol industry for a really long time. I don't think she does like travel, but she mostly like works when she travels, right? And like in general, it's like, I feel like she's not in the real world. So she doesn't quite understand how massive the consequences of maybe endorsing a conservative party can have on vulnerable populations. I don't think she has the strongest awareness of that, I'll be honest. She's not dumb, she lacks awareness. With respectfully. And again, this is like this is going to affect her work. This is going to affect contracts. The girls are talking behind the scenes, the three of them. Okay, I want to know what the members of aespa think. Okay, so this is Winter. Whoop. This is Ningning. And this is Giselle. Love Giselle. Okay, so Winter so far got the Five of Pentacles. That's being left out in the cold. I really don't know if Winter knew the extent of what Karina believed. Winter does not seem like she is conservative, I'll say. I don't know what it is. It's like I'm left out in the cold. Like I want to pull more cards on Winter. I'm gonna shuffle again. Okay. Loss of control. Loss of like stability as well. Oh, she got all Pentacle cards. She's worried about how this is going to affect aespa career-wise, financially, in terms of endorsements. She's very business-minded right now. I honestly see her withdrawing from Karina as well. I don't know if it's because, like, I don't think Karina ran her post by really anybody. I think some people knew about it, but I don't think it was, like, anyone in, like, the business side of things. But I don't think she ran this by the other members or SM. And so for Winter, I feel like I see her like withdrawing from Karina, like withdrawing her time, her energy, her emotions. I feel like they're close enough. I would say they're friends, Karina and Winter, but it's sort of like Winter's like, whoa. I do see Winter not necessarily agreeing with like conservative ideology. The other thing though is I think Winter feels a little bit betrayed that Karina would do that because it's brought a lot of negative press to aespa in general. And I think it will affect their business. And Winter's like, we operate as a unit. Like, why didn't you knew this was going to be a massive thing and you did it anyway? Because I think some scandals are a little bit like out of the idol's control. And it's sort of like, that was a bad moment, but I'm a human. This was obviously very calculated. You had to take the picture with like the garments on and upload it and make like that caption of the rose. And so I think Winter was like, this was obviously calculated and you brought like a lot of hardship to us for your own personal interest. It's funny because I think Winter is somebody who's not very it's not that she's not outspoken from an insecure way. She just is very like introverted and tends to like process internally. And I see her being a lot colder all of a sudden. Like she would like in my mind's eye, I see Winter like floating over to Karina and they're very playful, and then Winter goes off by herself. It's almost like she's like snapped it back. She's like, nope, you don't have access to me the way you did anymore because I'm upset. That's Winter. She's very business minded though. She's like, you did this for what? And this is gonna affect us? I love Winter. I just love her. She's so interesting as a person. Okay. And I said the middle one was Ningning. Miss Ningning. Okay, so you got the strength in the reverse position, which is feeling vulnerable. It's feeling disempowered in some way as well. Basically. Chariot, that's moving forward. A loss of anxiety. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Ningning. It's weird. It's not as interpersonal as you would think. It's almost like I think a lot of people are having more empathy, maybe for Ningning than she gets a lot. I think people praise Ningning for her beauty and her skills in singing and dancing and stage presence. I don't think people often give her as much, and not even necessarily empathy, but it's more like awareness of being a Chinese idol. There are very few Chinese idols in the K-pop industry. China and Korea, as I understand it, are not necessarily the strongest of friends, despite being next door neighbors. And so I think there's a lot of geopolitical things that Ningning has to deal with. And I think racism as well. So people are sending like more nice messages to like Ningning, like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like Karina's like that, like what the hell. That's literally like Ningning's focus. She's like, oh, okay, like this is an I love Ningning for this. Ningning is not the most emotional girly, I will say. She's not very sentimental, at least from the readings I've done on her. She's very business. She's about her money. She just wants to be a star. And she knows what she wants. I think that's cool. And Cherry's like, this is my time. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to try to elevate my star power. And this is like a releasing of anguish. This isn't making her as upset as maybe you would think. Because it's interesting. She got the strength card, which you would think is like being disempowered. She's going to use this vulnerability to her advantage. She is very much like make lemons out of lemonade type of girly. I love that. She's so interesting. This is, I like Ningning. I like all the members. I do like Karina. I do not agree with her political opinions. I gotta be honest, but this is like, I'm gonna try to step on her. And I don't mean that, we have to stop, because I don't mean that in a sense that Ningning is going to try to sabotage Karina, but it's more like Ningning is very business-minded. She wants to be successful. She wants a long career as well. She thinks about her longevity. She's going to use this as like a stepping stone to elevate herself. And honestly, as she should, you know what I mean? If really the Conservative Party is very anti-Chinese, and I just don't like the idea of being anti a group of people, personally. Those are my beliefs. But in any case, she's going to try, because this is Karina, and it's sort of like, I'm going to try to use your pitfall to help myself. It's not through exploitation. It's not through trying to make Karina look even worse than she does right now. It's more through, like, people are starting to maybe see, like, how politics has affected me, maybe how dynamics in SM, where Ningning is often overlooked for, you know, Korean members, how that's affecting her. She's going to use that to her advantage. Oh, this is being upset, I think. No, it's not. I'm obsessed with her. No, it's not. I was like, oh, okay, she does feel sad. Because temperance is like a lack of balance, a lack of emotional exchange. No, Ningning is not emotional about this at all. She's like, how can I get on my high horse? How can I use this to make money? How can I use this to elevate my star power? Ningning, so cool. I would love to read more on her, because she never seems as like, she's just not a person that gets in her feelings like that. I think she feels a lot of anger, and she uses that anger to fuel her and make her better. She's just like, I see her like just a knife. She just wants to sharpen herself and get better at her craft and get better at what she does. She is a go-getter. I don't understand the energy, because I'm for sure a marshmallow, but I like her energy. She's like, how can I turn this into lemonade? Love that for her. But again, I don't mean that in the sense that she's going to like harm Karina, but sort of like Karina's pitfall, Ningning will use to her advantage. And again, I mean, like, if like the Conservative Party really is anti-Chinese, like, can you blame Ningning for that? It's like, girl, like, you want me out of this country? Like, what do you mean? I don't know. I'm not sure what. Again, I don't know what it means politically. I've only read about it online. Okay, this is Giselle. The Four of Wands is like unionship. It's coming together. It's like a minor celebration. The Page of Swords. What? Ace of Cups. Oh, this isn't as clear as that, but Giselle's kind of like, I tried to warn you, but not necessarily. I don't really feel like Karina ran this post by any of the aespa members, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like Giselle and Karina actually do talk quite a bit. I think they talk about real things more than the other members do. So I don't know if they're necessarily closer. It does seem like they are closer than the other members, but I think they talk about like real world stuff, not just business stuff, not just like, you know, like cute, like pop culture things. Like they'll talk about like ideas or like what their personal philosophies are. When I look at this card, it's like I tried to tell you. Because the Page of Swords in the reverse position is like saying something immaturely or like without a lot of forethought put into it, which I guess would be, this is how Giselle views what Karina did. But I feel like Karina had a lot of thought put into this, but this is how Giselle views it. I don't think they've had, as a foursome, a heart-to-heart. I think they've talked with a company, like in a meeting about like, okay, like this is how we're going to pivot. This is the things that have changed business-wise. As like companies have been like, hey, maybe don't do that. In any case, I don't think the foursome have talked as like a group, like, what was that? And like, what are we gonna do now? They haven't done that. But I think Karina has maybe floated the idea of like, hey, maybe we should be more like honest or more authentically ourselves. And Giselle was like, yeah, totally. But also like, maybe let's think about this like smartly. I would say Giselle is probably one of the smarter members. I would say Ningning and Giselle are probably the smarter members, respectively, in aespa. I would say Ningning is a lot sharper and like more undercover in how she operates, and I think Giselle is really like relaxed and low-key. But Giselle is a really smart person. So I think Giselle was like, I think we should be more authentic, but maybe in a way that like works with Korean culture, works with K-pop, works on a global level, makes the company happy. Karina just kind of did a massive swipe. I don't think Giselle is as conservative as Karina is. I don't think Giselle is necessarily a conservative, but I do think that Giselle has some religious tendencies, and religion tends to lean towards conservative. So I think they connect on that, but I think a lot of social issues Giselle and Karina disagree on. But I think they come together through like religious ideals in some way. In any case, I do think Karina is a lot more religious than Giselle is, though. At any case, though, it's like the Ace of Cups is sort of like, I really see Giselle kind of resigned. Like, I tried to warn you, I tried to tell you. I can't tell you. I guess they've talked about this before. I don't know, but I really don't think Karina ran this specific post by any of them. But like Giselle just seems depleted, which is kind of sad. Like, she just seems tired. She's like, man, that's her energy. It's like, what? Like, you did that? Like, man, all of them are affected. Ningning's gonna make the best of it. Winter's just like, okay, like, what about the money? And I think Giselle is disappointed also with Karina, but also worried about her. I don't think Ningning is that worried. I would say Winter is disappointed but checked out, but also I think that's just kind of where Winter has been for most of the year lately. In general, she seems really checked out. More into herself than I would say what's going on outside of her. Giselle, I think, is tired. To be honest, Giselle's energy seems also disconnected, but more in a faraway sense. Like, literally in my mindset, I see Giselle and like Karina, and they're on islands, and they're separate islands, but it's like Giselle can see Karina on her island, and Karina's like, come over, and Giselle's like, nah, I'm okay over here. Almost like she would need space, or it's like, I don't know, it's almost like I tried to tell you and you didn't listen, and this happened anyway. I don't know. The Empress is like literally like not being in your feminine energy, not feeling empowered. Giselle's really interesting. I want to do a reading on her because I don't think this is entirely about Karina. There's a lot of like complexity with what Giselle's going through. The Hierophant is doing things differently, going and breaking tradition. This is like a contract or exchange. Oh, Giselle also feels betrayed. Aww. I don't know what that means, but she feels betrayed in some way. Like, Karina let her down. This is like mourning. This is like what happened. This is like what we've lost. Yeah. I don't think Giselle really agrees with a lot of what Karina believes politically. I do think Giselle is a little bit more like love everybody, and like I don't think she necessarily fully agrees with like conservative ideology. I don't think she is somebody that would hate you for your political beliefs, but she would pull back a little bit. I do think she knew to an extent like what Karina believes in. At the same time, though, it's like I think Giselle is sort of like, literally all I keep hearing is I tried to tell you, I tried to warn you, and you did it anyway. That's it. I don't know. Okay, any final messages about aespa in general at large? The girls are so interesting. Their group dynamic every time is very layered and complex. Page of Cups. The Emperor. SM, not pleased, powerful man. You might see aespa on an even tighter rope than they are, but that might create more pushback with some of the members. SM is very controlling with their idols, and I especially kind of think with their female idols. Lack of labor, lack of struggling, happily ever after. SM's going to try to do a lot of damage control behind the scenes. It might work. It might work for aespa. I don't know if it'll work for Karina, but it'll work for aespa as a whole. aespa, if anything, I think some people in the public feel a little bit bad that aespa got dragged into kind of a bigger controversy. Yeah. But I think aespa will actually come out on top in the end. So for Karina, it's not necessarily that she's going to like be pummeled, but I could see there being a lot more friction for her going forward than she had previously experienced. Well, vibe. I wish everyone well. You know, you can believe what you want to believe. I don't want to be controlling. However, I'm not. I don't love what a lot of conservative people in this world are doing right now. Well, vibe. Okay.